And I hope when he makes the video about Amandla, he actually says like Moses Ingram, just because he can't tell the black girls apart.
Whoever they are, it doesn't matter to me.
This weekend, Star Wars fans made
The Acolyte,
the most watched Disney Plus original series premiere of all time. However, it seems that some of the fan base from this influential fan base have decided to attack
Amandla Stenberg,
online and send her the most horrendous racist DMs. And I heard some of them this morning and it just broke my heart.
Amandla,
She's a brilliant actor, she's a brilliant woman, and she's absolutely amazing in this series. She brings so much to the series, she brings so much to the franchise. And it just sickened me to my stomach to hear that this had been happening. We stand with
Amandla,
we love
Amandla.
And if you're sending her bullying messages, you're no Star Wars fan in my mind. There's no place for racism in this world. And I totally stand with Moses.
The Acolyte star Amandla Stenberg releases a song responding to fan backlash. Fan backlash. The Star Wars star has posted an original music video in reaction to haters flooding with intolerable racism. I love this first one. I put this in my video. In what's likely an industry first, a TV show star has written or released a song and a music video complete with dance moves in response to racist backlash against the show. Well done, Disney. You managed to... I can't believe this. You made it.
Dance moves?
With dance moves. No, they managed to make an episode that wasn't as bad as the previous episode. It's still bad. It sucked. Probably because it's shorter, but it wasn't as bad as episode 3. And if they just shut the hell up, it probably would have faded out. And then they followed it with this. And then, of course, James O'Keefe came out and dropped a bomb the next day, too.
Yeah, the crazy part is up until now, there honestly hasn't been a ton of criticism of her. Now, of like some parts of her acting and stuff like that, yes, certainly the story and the writing has what's been getting blasted by nearly everybody right now. Like, that's been the focus of this entire thing. She just turned some more eyes back to her when it comes to this, and I think she's going to come under more scrutiny than she ever was before.
I think she wanted to, though. I think the level of narcissism with these people is talk more about me. I don't care. I don't care about the attention in terms of good or bad, because my bubble here will always be here to tell me that I'm amazing, I'm the best. My fucking holiday home in Denmark, that my fucking millionaire dad, she don't give a shit.
I'm being repressed.
Launch a music career.
She's gonna be repressed right into a next acting role by people who are going, oh, look what you did, that was amazing. We've got this wonderful new fucking role lined up. About a strong, independent, black, or half black in your case, woman who's up against the white man. And she'll be, yeah, I'll sign on. There's another fucking $1 million for doing fuck all apart from being a massive D next Tuesday.
So Amandla posted Happy Juneteenth, and to those who are flooding me with intolerable racism.
Show the receipts then.
Yeah, I was going to say, where are the receipts on that one?
I'm only interested in the tolerable racism. Thank you very much.
I'm sure they're just like the last time this happened. It's like 3 people that aren't even racist and one that is, because it's the internet and people are trying to get you to be mad about something. It's going to be the exact same thing. Ignore them.
At least Moses came up with like 3,
Yeah, at least.
Well, you've been flooded with them. You'd think you'd actually pick some really, really bad ones. But from what I remember of those, there was one which was saying something like, you only got hired because of diversity. And I said, well, that's not racist. That's just, as we know, thanks to Mr. O'Keefe, and as we knew anyway, because it's obvious, that's just a statement of fact. But they at least give us something to work with. Don't just, if you redefine racism to mean, like, make it so broad that, of course, it counts as any kind of criticism is racist, then fine. But I wasn't aware that saying, oh, Carrie-Anne isn't supposed to be alive yet. That's not a racist point, I don't think. It's hard to sort of claim racism off the back of that, but she might be trying.
It is now.
Well, it's not racist. It's just, anti-gay.
Good
point.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, listen, you got it all wrong. Amandla Stenberg was hired on her acting prowess. Okay, she is the Peter Sellers of her generation. She can play 2 parts exactly the same. Okay, how many people can do it?
It's funny that you even bring it up, ironically, because she didn't even audition for this. You want to talk about privilege? You want to talk
I didn't know
about
this.
having an easy life? She didn't audition for this. Leslie Headland approached her and showed her all of the concept art, all of the designs, and she said, I have had you in my head to play this role, because all the concept art was her face on it.
In any other context, that's just stalking, by the way. Like, you turn up to someone and say, I've been dreaming about you for 4 years. Here's my pictures. Like,
yeah. And she said, if you don't take this role, it's really going to break my heart. And Amandla's, of course I'm going to take this role. She wasn't the best person for the job. She was the one that Leslie Headland, former Harvey Weinstein personal assistant, decided that she wanted to play this role. And that's how she got the role.
This sounds like a hairdresser thing, one of those grooming things.
What I don't know, but it certainly doesn't sound like she's fucking oppressed.
No. No.
Brown Boy Summer was in Russian Doll. He's also gay. She hired her wife. And then we go to the planet of communist lesbian space witches. And then we have the interview with them saying, you know what? I think this is the gayest Star Wars. And everyone on the planet is saying, yes. Yes, it is.
Correct.
Actually. Nobody is disagreeing with
And then you follow that up with, why do you hate gay people?
Yeah.
What?
Since it took me 72 hours on my laptop to make this song, pressing X to doubt.
It's not very good, so maybe.
No, you got 72 hours to respond, and I expect what?
Choreo.
Choreo.
He doesn't know those. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say it.
Lingo.
I know some, but I can't say most of it. Okay.
He doesn't know the black language,
Bro, I was in prison. Again, I know a bunch. I just can't say it. Okay. Ryan has pointed this out. Many have pointed this out that Wokeness put out a tweet a couple of weeks ago now, Ryan, from her talking to Trevor Noah on The Daily Show about a completely different film back in 2018, 19, a few years ago. No connection to the Acolyte whatsoever. Now, her statement checks out after like listening to the song, but there was no connection to it, and context does matter. And it was put out to kind of bolster a narrative that you didn't need to add anything to, by the way. It was already there with the Acolyte and Disney's marketing. We don't need to add stuff that really had nothing to do with it. So that's what she's responding to. It's also a giant virtue signal for Juneteenth. Talking about oppression against.
But a lot of these publications need to just be aware, like when you put stuff out there, you could have very easily been just as effective by saying, this is the Acolyte star back in 2018 saying she wanted to make white people cry.
Yeah,
and then at least,
these are the type of people Lucasfilm hires. Exactly. That's your tweet.
Right. 100%. Yeah. But instead, it kind of really did look bad that they just attached that. And then so many people run with it because that's the internet. Got to be a little more careful with that stuff. That's all. I mean, and we're all going to make that mistake from time to time. But once you realize it, get rid of it and move on.
You gotta do your due diligence when you're doing this stuff.
Exactly.
That's right. So I'm going viral on Twitter again. Open up the news to find out something interesting.
No. You got to do it the way she did it.
All right.
20 million views. Interview from 2018 with Trevor the King when I was a teen. I was running from city to city to speak on a story. You know the one, police murdering a black boy. My people cried in theaters finding release. White people cried so they could see us as human beings. Trevor asked what I want the people to know.
Holla.
I said why people crying was the goal.
Holla.
If they could take one thing, what would it be?
One.
I said empathy. Ooh, that's why they're mad at me.
It's weird.
Make hate, they recognize, make it look like the same propaganda they spew, because they conflate our pain with violence and try to weaponize everything that we do.
Check me 1, 2.
Desperation of oppressors is rising, and now they can't get me.
This is getting cringy than
information that tells me you're afraid of the truth.
Shout out to the 313.
Don't fuck with your discourse.
Oh my God.
Where's that choreo?
So she's half white, okay? What makes her decide, what's her people and what's not her people? And I have a feeling she is not very connected with what people would consider the black experience in America, with how privileged she's, grown up.
Yeah, she's popping out her violin every 2 seconds going, look.
Are you saying
totally
that the plot twist here is that this is actually about the oppression of the Danish people. Is that where we're going?
Possibly. I'm not going to sing it like her. So
I'm not either. Fuck that.
And now you listening, I'ma tell you something fascinating.
This is just this is actually worse.
I'ma
but
tell you.
Possibly better. This is better.
This is actually worse than you trying to sing it.
Gary, this is effectively blackface, but in your voice.
Everybody be quiet so they can meme it correctly.
All right.
This
They-
is black voice.
They spin and woke, bastardize it, appreciate it. Last I recall, woke was something we
It says
created.
appropriate. It says appropriated, not appreciated.
Appreciated, appropriated, whatever.
Like 2 lines into this.
I'm trying to make it better.
It's kind of difficult to make this better.
They spin and woke, bastardize it, and appropriate it. But last I recall, we was something we created. Speak truth to power. Keep an eye out for your silly racists. And now they use it to describe anything that's they're threatened by. Remember when Gambino put it in the zeitgeist? It was all about people recognizing bigotry, which is exactly what we're doing with Disney right now. So good. The power of community. You see why I fucking hate that word, Jeremy?
Commie fucker. Yeah.
There you go. Not fodder for your clickbait. Speaking of which, journalists, I'm looking at you. Did you forget it's your job to provide the truth? They weren't telling the truth when they were talking about the Acolyte. We could, again, go over the Rotten Tomatoes and show all the made-up fucking websites that are praising it. Spreading divisiveness, mining the metrics and date. God, who does that? Who intimidates journalists or seduces them with access? Who does that? Who does that? The company you work for, maybe?
Gosh.
So like when she's talking about the journalist, I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, like I agree with you. The journalists are really bad, and they do sow in divisiveness and misinformation.
Yeah, but they're on her side.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes,
the ones she's talking about is like the majority are on her side that back Disney and back all this crap.
These are the people who try to convince you that the Acolyte was a smash ratings hit, that it just did incredible numbers, when in reality, as soon as you have something to compare it to, it's easy to show it's actually the worst performing Disney Plus Star Wars show in history. The journalists, they're just out to get Amandla Stenberg. Everyone is oppressing you. Everybody is always oppressing you. You're constantly a fucking victim. This is a problem in general with people that grow up thinking that if you're black in America, that everyone's out to get you, that you never have a shot, you never have a chance because you're just being oppressed this way and that way. It's really the fault of parents who continue to teach their children that that's what they should expect, that they should always expect to be kept down by the man. Nothing's ever their fucking fault. And all the things that go bad in their life are because 400 years ago, Africans sold other Africans to white people.
Oh shit, you can't talk about history. Don't be talking about history.
History's bigoted, dude.
No, that's according to the Woman King, Ryan. No, never mind. You seem to give up all your ethics for money and views. And I can tell you that people are tired. Yes, they're very tired of Disney.
There's plenty here I agree with her on. I don't think she thinks we're coming at it from the same angle, but
it's zero self-awareness, which is not surprising when she does an entire video about oppression with a camera locked on her face the entire time.
She's talking about divisiveness, and then she says, my point was to make white people cry. So it's like, you're creating the divisiveness.
It gets even worse. Her logic was, my film made black people cry because they saw another black boy being killed by the police. My film made white people cry because they saw us as human beings.
Yeah, that's the racist. That
so
is
it's
so
even more
egregiously bad.
disgusting because she is essentially saying white people, she's half white, by the way, white people don't see black people as human beings until my film showed that
saved lives. It saved lives,
I know.
Dude, the internal hatred for your own race is so sad. Why do you have to fight this so much? It's okay to be white. Amandla, it's all right.
We're done now.
I'm not taking pictures with my dad because he's too fucking white.
Her parents must be really proud of her.
So proud.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
She's just an actress playing a role. None of this is real.
An adult pretender. And the kids don't trust anything that they view. And as I said in my video, not to worry with the Acolyte. No kids are watching that show. We can learn something from their discernment. The future's coming, and it's always the youth. Well, that is poignant.
That's been the slogan for every mad movement from basically Mao to the Nazis. It's just kids are not discerning. Kids are morons, and like the idea that you can appeal to morons in order to get your point across is sinister, and you should stop doing it.
Well, and the best part about this when it comes to Star Wars is even teens, even children think that what they're putting out is too cringe to watch. Like they're not watching it, right? Disney Plus, when it comes to their Marvel and Star Wars show, have the lowest percentage of Gen Z viewers of any other streaming service out there. And that, even as many times as like people up here might say that Star Wars is dead or that they don't care anymore, what's really going to be the nail in the coffin is when you don't get the next generation invested, and that's what's happened to Star Wars.
Yes, you lose a generation.
The past 10 years.
That's what happened. Comic books, Star Trek is aging out, Star Wars, and maybe, this would probably naturally happen anyway. They just hastened it. Things age out. Nothing lasts forever, obviously, but they decided to just give it cancer, just to hurry things up.
This can't be true. People on Twitter tell me all the time that I'm just mad that I'm not the target audience for Star Wars anymore, but the new fans are keeping it alive and it's as good as it's ever been.
Little Platoon, I'm sure they got all that from watching clips on TikTok and not actually watching the show, which most of them do. Not watch the show. Dude, if as many people were bitching about the Marvels on Twitter actually went and saw the movie, it would have done well. But it didn't. Oh, do we need to read the... this is a... yes.
Yeah, we do. We need to do it.
Yep.
My sis said, don't let it go. Don't let it get down my spirit. But I'm sick and fucking tired of suppressing my rage. 400 years of taking their bullshit. From where? From your mansion?
Wait a second. Let's break this down, Amandla.
You're 400 years old?
Let's break this down for a second. Who are you talking about when you say their bullshit?
Wait.
I like that. Like the next sentence as well is comparing her invented trauma to black people being put in cages.
Yes.
It's like she's actually comparing herself to slaves, which is just fucking mad.
So desperate to be a victim, she's going to, piggyback off of the oppression of the past and say that she's had to endure it as well.
But if you guys remember, there was that one actress that did the unthinkable. I can't remember her name. What did she do? It was so bad she got fired. She put, I think she put beep bop boop. I think she put beep bop boop in her.
Unforgivable.
Yeah.
Unforgivable.
Horrific stuff. Luckily, Amandla has not gone that far.
Wait.
Yeah.
She has a ways to go before she gets there.
And the next, this whole verse is like the one that's like so interesting to me to just see her entire perspective. My sis said, don't let it get down my spirit, but I'm sick and fucking tired of suppressing my rage. 400 years of taking their bullshit to compartmentalize like my ancestors had to encage. If you don't confront the pain that you live with, it'll manifest as addiction, disease, and hate. So if I don't let my rage out, if I don't let my half-black rage out, then it will lead to addiction and disease. And you already hate people, obviously.
Which are not your... I guess it's not your fault if you...
That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying, that the addiction and the diseases that are rampant in the black community, that's a result of them not letting out their rage at white people for what happened centuries ago.
Yeah, his mother, I think, is supposed to be some sort of weird spiritualist, laying on hands type faith healer who writes books. And I can well believe that she actually genuinely does believe this sort of nonsense. Like, the only reason that, say, black people have an obesity problem or a drug problem or a crime problem or any problem that they have is because of suppressed ancestral rage against white people. It is the kind of crazy nonsense lots of people are taught to believe these days. So I can believe that she actually means it. I think she might get away with it though, because like this is the last verse, I think, isn't it, of quite a long song, and you actually have to sit through it to get to this point. So a lot of people won't ever hear it because they'll be distracted by the weird dance moves and then like how awful it sounds.
We got to get the last part of the verse. And just again, to state the obvious, letting out your rage is not going to help you with addiction. Okay, actually, you have to deal with your rage. That's the whole point.
Gary, you're dealing with a girl who's the product of millionaires who's lived an amazing life
and some
been in
crystal
Hollywood
meditating spiritual mom and some super rich dad. Yeah. Kind of checks out. And she's been a child actress since 4, working for Disney, and they practically grow them there. or groom them. Same thing.
Also, that's Disney, a company which is, owned and run by white people. She was hired without being cast by a white woman. Her dad, of course, is famously quite a rich white person. Like, she's benefited quite a lot from this apparently racist establishment. So, what does Leslie have? No, actually, better than that. What does her dad think when he listens to this? Does he sit there sort of nodding along thinking, yeah, I fucking hate my people? Or does he sit there thinking, well, that's a little bit ungrateful of you, darling?
It would be really ironic if Mr. Stenberg actually produced this album. That would be
Imagine he's up there, he's mixing.
I've seen the infection repressing can give you. I'm not going to. Okay, where? Again, I'm going to ask where. Was it in your room in your mansion when, like, one of your apps wouldn't fucking update or something? Like, what
woman on the street at the end of the video.
A coke-fueled Hollywood party is quite the same, sweetheart, but okay.
I'm not going to be the next one sent to an early grave.
If she represses her rage, she will be sent to an early grave, is what she's saying.
Still just a rat in a cage.
I was thinking the same thing.
Definitely a fucking rat. Yeah, definitely a rat.
Another thing that's interesting about that Instagram post, you had other stars. The guy who plays Chimere responded with some emojis. You had Daphne Keene, who plays Jackie, saying like "Wokalite Unite" or some bullshit in the comments. You had Christina Ariel, the black woman who got hired to host that High Republic show. That had a lengthy history of anti-white tweets. She was like, "I love you so much for this," or something like that.
Yeah.
So Lucasfilm, the retarded Avengers assemble over there, backing each other up.
Racists do stick together.
That's all. That's
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.